A traveler's dog suddenly became restless and darted towards a lone box placed in the heart of the bustling Beirut airport. As airport staff investigated, their startled exclamations echoed through the terminal. Amidst the chaos of travelers and personnel, an unassuming wooden box, just 16 inches tall, had sat unnoticed for a week in a quiet corner of the airport. Little did anyone suspect that this box harbored a secret that would send shockwaves through the terminal. On an otherwise ordinary day, Masha Hamid, a casually dressed young woman, was making her way home after a flight, accompanied by her dog, Rory. Suddenly, Rory, a German shepherd, became agitated, straining against his leash. Initially attributing his behavior to the airport's commotion, Masha attempted to calm him, but Rory persisted in his restlessness. Alarmed by her dog's unusual behavior, Masha tugged on the leash to control Rory, only to find him darting towards the seemingly abandoned box. Concerned for her pet's safety, she chased after him, her heart racing with worry. As she caught up and attempted to pull Rory away, the dog's determination became evident. He was fixated on the box, displaying an irresistible urge to investigate. Crouching beside the box, Masha, a mix of perplexity and concern in her gaze, noticed a peculiar detail. The box emitted faint, almost imperceptible sounds, whispers barely audible amidst the airport's din. Her apprehension grew, amplified by Rory's persistent barking and whimpering. Urging her dog to calm down, her voice carried a blend of curiosity and caution. Despite her attempts to divert Rory's attention, he persisted, pawing at the box with a blend of excitement and urgency. The situation was increasingly intriguing and worrisome, the contents of the box becoming an enigmatic mystery that demanded discovery. "Hello? Is anyone there?" the woman called out, her voice struggling to carry amidst the bustling airport crowd. Met with only the echo of her own inquiry, she frowned, kneeling beside the box and tapping its lid gently. Half expecting a confirming noise, she was met with utter silence. With a final pull on the leash, she managed to steer her dog away, yet her curiosity lingered. Was there a living being inside? Could someone be trapped there? A sense of moral obligation tugged at her, compelling her to investigate further. Stepping back, she scanned the area and spotted a group of airport staff. Hurrying toward them, her heart racing, she urgently recounted the incident, explaining how Rory had alerted her to the box's presence, insisting she heard noises emanating from it. Puzzled glances were exchanged among the airport staff, but they followed the determined woman to the unmarked box. Approaching cautiously, mixed with skepticism, they noted the dog's persistent agitation towards the box. As they neared, the faint sounds from within became more distinct, heightening their intrigue. Curious about the box's contents, one staff member queried his colleagues. The second man confessed his lack of knowledge but acknowledged the increasing occurrences of illicit activities in airports, smuggling and trafficking, which made it plausible that something or someone could be hidden inside. Upon their thorough inspection of the box, the two officers deemed it necessary to summon additional airport security as a precautionary measure. Setting up a small perimeter, the reinforced team decided it was time to unveil the box's contents. Remarkably, Rory, the dog, seemed much calmer now that all eyes were fixed on the object of his interest, the box. Masha silently stood behind Rory, her determination aligning with the collective focus on uncovering the truth. With trembling hands that betrayed a mix of anticipation and anxiety, they cautiously lifted the lid of the box. The sight that met their eyes surpassed their wildest expectations, prompting screams of shock that reverberated through the terminal, stunning bystanders and travelers alike. The secret hidden within the box was unveiled, setting off a chain of events that would expose a case of extreme animal cruelty and ignite a fervent pursuit of justice. The airport staff's initial shock gradually transformed into disbelief as they beheld the astonishing revelation. Nestled inside the wooden box were not just ordinary contents, 3 emaciated Siberian tiger cubs, huddled together. Once majestic, their fur was now matted and filthy, their bodies bearing signs of neglect and distress. Feeble cries for aid emanated from the cubs, capturing the attention and stirring the emotions of everyone within earshot. Masha watched in horror alongside the airport staff and onlookers who had gathered in response to the commotion. The bewildered glances exchanged among the staff mirrored their struggle to comprehend the grim reality unfolding before them. Their initial confusion and doubt gave way to an overwhelming surge of outrage and empathy. The brutality inflicted upon these endangered creatures was unimaginable. As the shock settled, the airport staff swiftly recognized that this discovery was not merely an accidental find, it was a stark reminder of the abhorrent illegal wildlife trade that callously exploited exotic animals solely for profit. Driven by an urgent need to ensure the safety and well-being of the tiger cubs, a sense of urgency coursed through their veins. Word of this shocking revelation spread rapidly throughout the airport, drawing a concerned crowd of travelers and staff, all united in their dismay and determination to assist these helpless animals in need. In response to the shocking discovery, a number of bystanders reached for their phones, swiftly capturing videos and snapping pictures of the peculiar and distressing scene. Whispers filled the air, laced with disbelief and mounting outrage, intensifying the collective resolve to take immediate action. Amidst the chaos, Masha stood at a somber distance, her heart weighed down by a profound mix of sorrow and anger. Meanwhile, the airport staff sprang into action, swiftly launching a thorough search to locate the individual responsible for abandoning the box containing the tiger cubs. They meticulously reviewed security footage, hoping to discern any clues that might lead them to the perpetrator behind this heinous act. The tension mounted as they pored over the footage, each frame serving as a potential piece of the puzzle in unraveling this mystery. Despite their determination fueled by a shared objective of holding the culprits accountable, the identity of the perpetrator remained elusive. Frustration and determination waged war within the hearts of the airport staff, compelling them to relentlessly pursue justice. With time passing, their meticulous review of the footage traced the box's journey through various airport security checkpoints and cargo areas. Yet, the person responsible for this cruel act continued to evade detection deliberately. The complexity of the abandoned box and the tiger cubs deepened the mystery, leaving the airport staff grappling with the enormity of their task. In their desperation to unravel the truth, the airport staff turned to local animal control authorities for assistance. Leveraging their expertise in handling wildlife emergencies, the animal control team arrived, bringing a sense of hope and seasoned experience. Collaborating closely, they carefully assessed the condition of the tiger cubs, providing them with the necessary medical attention and nourishment they urgently required. As Masha recounted the sequence of events, detailing how Rory's instinct had signaled something amiss, a crowd gathered around her, hanging on to her every word. The airport staff and animal control personnel alike were astonished by Rory's keen intuition and quick thinking, recognizing the extraordinary bond between the dog and his perceptive owner in a world brimming with distractions. Masha's attentive response to Rory's signals potentially became a life-saving act. As she recounted Rory's persistent barking and pawing at the box, a sense of profound awe settled over the assembled group. The officers nodded in agreement, acknowledging the remarkable capabilities dogs possess. An animal control personnel emphasized the incredible ability of dogs to perceive things that often escape human notice, their heightened awareness of the environment beyond human comprehension. With thoughtful nods, other staff members chimed in, remarking that the presence of the tigers might have gone completely unnoticed for an extended period if not for Rory's alert. Without his vigilance or if Masha had disregarded his warning, the helpless cubs might have remained undiscovered, facing a tragic fate of starvation. Masha glanced at her faithful German shepherd, Rory, swelling with pride for his loyalty and intuitive nature. Amidst the admiration for Rory's heroism, the stark reality remained: inside the box were not just one, but 3 Siberian tiger cubs, each in a distressing state. Witnessing the emaciated and feeble condition of the cubs evoked a collective gasp of shock and concern among the onlookers. The officers wasted no time and sprang into immediate action to evaluate the cubs' condition. A solemn silence draped over the area as they observed the fragile bodies of the cubs, covered in filth, their soft whimpers stirring deep emotions in those who witnessed the scene. The airport staff and animal control personnel were confronted with the grim truth of the illegal exotic animal trade, bearing witness to the harrowing suffering imposed on these innocent creatures. One of the cubs, in particular, appeared to be in dire straits, displaying severe signs of emaciation and lethargy. Worry etched onto the faces of the onlookers as they exchanged concerned glances, recognizing the urgent need for swift intervention to offer this cub a fighting chance at survival. As the animal control experts further examined the ailing cub, it became evident that something was seriously amiss and immediate measures were imperative to address its critical condition. The sight was heart-wrenching. The poor cub not only trembled with soft whimpers but also radiated an alarming heat, suggesting a potential fever or an even graver underlying ailment. Finally acknowledging the severity of the situation, the staff made the unanimous decision to seek assistance from an expert in wildlife care, someone well-versed in rehabilitating sick animals. Their urgent call reached Dr. Isabella Mitchell, a highly regarded veterinarian renowned for her specialization in exotic species. Her exceptional reputation in successfully nursing a variety of animals back to health made her the ideal candidate to take charge of the cub's delicate care. With anticipation building, the staff anxiously awaited Dr. Mitchell's arrival. In the interim, the airport staff swiftly erected a temporary enclosure for the cubs, prioritizing their comfort and safety despite their own shock and distress at the harrowing scene before them. Their unwavering determination to provide the cubs with the best possible care served as a testament to their commitment. When Dr. Mitchell finally arrived, her presence was met with a collective sense of relief and anticipation. Briefed on the cub's condition, she promptly assumed control of the situation, exuding a calm demeanor and a confident display of expertise that reassured everyone present that the cubs were in capable hands. Approaching the enclosures, Dr. Mitchell meticulously observed the cubs, attentively noting their physical condition and behavior. Her experienced eyes scanned for any signs of distress, carefully assessing their vital signs and overall well-being. The ailing cub, in particular, drew her immediate attention, with its labored breathing and listless demeanor signaling potential underlying health issues. With a gentle touch and a thorough examination, Dr. Mitchell further assessed the sick cub, keenly noting its weakened response to stimuli, lack of appetite, and subtle signs of respiratory distress. Furrows of concern etched her brow, indicating the urgency of the situation. Recognizing the critical nature of the cub's condition, she knew that prompt action was imperative. As Dr. Mitchell meticulously attended to the cub, her professionalism and compassionate demeanor were evident in every action she took. Collaborating closely with the airport staff and animal control personnel, she laid out a comprehensive plan to address the cub's urgent medical needs. Her arrival marked a significant turning point, instilling hope that the expertise she brought would profoundly impact the cub's fate. With urgency in her actions, Dr. Isabella Mitchell swiftly commenced making crucial arrangements, orchestrating steps to aid her newest patients. News of the dire plight of the tiger cubs swiftly traversed various media channels, capturing the attention of a broader audience. Images depicting the emaciated cubs and the forsaken box began circulating online, triggering widespread outrage and a resounding call for justice. The tale struck a chord with individuals committed to safeguarding vulnerable animals and staunchly opposing the cruelty inherent in the illicit wildlife trade. As days melded into weeks, a noticeable improvement marked the tiger cubs' condition under the meticulous care of the animal control team. Their resilience and unwavering determination to survive stood as a testament to the unyielding strength of their spirit. Continued coverage of their recovery progress fueled a burgeoning movement, drawing together a unified front of supporters galvanized in their demand for justice and accountability. Amid this rising swell of momentum, a pivotal breakthrough emerged. Someone came forward, contacting airport authorities, claiming that their highly valuable cargo had been mistakenly misplaced. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that this aggrieved customer referenced the cargo that had stirred shock just days prior. This revelation sent ripples of astonishment through both the airport staff and animal welfare advocates. The owner, seemingly indifferent to the uproar, adamantly demanded the return of his cargo. Allegedly, the tiger cubs were intended to travel from the Nikolaev Zoo in Ukraine to the Samar al-Husayni Zoo in Damascus, Syria. Due to a mix-up and negligence, they became stranded in Lebanon. This clandestine transnational journey served as a stark reminder of the thriving yet shadowy world of exotic animal trafficking. Once symbols of the wild, these magnificent creatures had been reduced to mere commodities, subject to the capricious whims of black market traders. The illicit exotic animal trade, driven by demands from collectors and entertainment industries, had plunged into a sinister underworld. Creatures like the Siberian tiger cubs, known for their rarity and beauty, were often subjected to appalling conditions during transportation, forced into unsuitable environments and subjected to maltreatment. Their once noble existence transformed into a narrative of captivity, their welfare and well-being utterly disregarded in the relentless pursuit of profit. Advocates, including Masha, emerged as staunch champions of the cubs' cause. Their collective determination to seek justice resonated profoundly with the public, initiating a groundswell of support for the innocent victims ensnared within the clutches of the exotic animal trade. Despite facing the ominous threat of legal repercussions from the enigmatic owner, the unwavering advocates remained resolute, propelled by a steadfast conviction in the inherent worth of every living being. Determined to shine a light on the grim underbelly of the exotic animal trade, these advocates laid bare the tragic fate that befell countless animals ensnared in this merciless industry. The tumultuous journey of these tiger cubs underscored the systemic issues that allowed illegal trafficking to thrive, perpetuating a cycle of anguish and exploitation. It was a sorrowful reality that extended beyond the tigers, encompassing an array of other majestic creatures, from lions, jaguars, and leopards to exotic reptiles, birds, and monkeys. Many animals fell victim to these appalling practices, often lost or suffering in similar ways to the 3 tiger cubs. Renamed publicly and endearingly as Maya, Chenko, and Connie, the tiger cubs garnered a growing fan base. Among them, Maya, the sick cub, was diagnosed with a respiratory tract infection, necessitating a course of antibiotics to facilitate her recovery. Meanwhile, her siblings exhibited good health, but Maya, being the smallest, demanded attentive care, temporarily housed at the Animal Emergency Center in Lebanon, gradually recuperating from the harrowing experience of being confined in a box far from their natural habitat. As Masha and others shared the compelling narrative of the tiger's plight, an ever-expanding chorus of supporters rallied to their cause. Individuals from diverse backgrounds united, expressing solidarity through petitions and impactful social media campaigns. The tiger cubs evolved into symbols of resilience and hope, galvanizing others to take a stand against the exploitation of animals for profit. Following months of persistent advocacy and the weight of mounting evidence, the groundswell of public support, and undeniable proof, coerced the mysterious owner to capitulate. Reluctantly, they ceased applying pressure on Masha, the airport staff, Dr. Mitchell, and all those who staunchly defended the cubs. Eventually, they halted all attempts to reclaim the tigers, acknowledging the futility of their efforts. The resolution of this arduous battle marked merely the inception of the tiger cubs' journey toward redemption. Their fate rested in the hands of those unwavering in their belief that these creatures deserved lives devoid of cruelty and exploitation. They became the torchbearers of a cause that sought justice and compassion for animals, symbolizing the collective resolve to protect and cherish all living beings. The advocates, in collaboration with local animal welfare organizations, dedicated their relentless efforts to secure a sanctuary that could offer the tiger cubs the safe and nurturing haven they rightly deserved. Following extensive endeavors, Animals Lebanon, a reputable sanctuary and rescue group in the region, emerged to extend a lifeline to the tiger cubs, providing them with a newfound opportunity for a life unmarked by suffering. The sanctuary's unwavering commitment to offering a refuge for rescued animals aligned seamlessly with the specific needs of the cubs. It promised a haven where they could thrive, ensuring their happiness and safety, sheltered from the ominous grasp of the black market's hunger for exploitation. The poignant tale of the tiger cubs, initially fraught with cruelty and hardship, underwent a remarkable metamorphosis, evolving into a narrative of triumph and redemption. Their journey from being abandoned in a box at an airport to finding solace within the sanctuary's embrace stood as a poignant testament to the transformative power of compassion, resilience, and the unyielding dedication of individuals who adamantly opposed succumbing to darkness. Though tinged with sorrow, reminiscent of the plight faced by countless innocent animals, this story remains an inspiring and heartwarming testament to the resilience of these creatures. It stands as a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to show your support by liking. Join us for more inspiring stories in our next video. Let's move on to the next story. The dog has been pregnant for a long time. However, on the day of the birth, the dog was reluctant to give birth. No matter how much the owner persuaded it, the owner took it to the pet hospital. The doctor gave the pregnant dog an ultrasound. Everyone present was shocked. What happened? Why do dogs not want to give birth? Everything in the world has spirits, and animals also have emotions. Although we cannot understand their language, their actions give us a new understanding of animals. Everyone knows that dogs are good friends of human beings. This is not wishful thinking of human beings. It is what they tell us through their behavior during the long-term company with us. Billy's dog was pregnant, but on his delivery day, he refused to give birth, which confused Billy so much that he decided to take the dog to the local veterinarian. After arriving at the hospital, Billy's dog attracted the attention of many people, which also attracted the attention of the receptionist. She immediately called the veterinarian. After the veterinarian learned about the situation, he walked into the waiting room. Barely said a word, just told Billy it was his turn. The veterinarian welcomed Billy and his dog into the examination room and assured Billy that everything would be fine with him. The veterinarian checked the poor dog carefully. The dog was very well behaved and allowed the doctor to examine it. It seemed very uncomfortable, but he still endured it, but he didn't give birth. An ultrasound was done to find out what had happened to the dog and he told Billy not to worry. However, when the test results came out, the calm expression on the doctor's face disappeared, and he was shocked. Billy looked at the veterinarian's expression and didn't dare to speak. He was afraid that he would distract the veterinarian. The veterinarian checked the dog's body again, took a deep breath, and walked out of the examination room. 10 minutes later, the veterinarian called Billy to his office to talk. He told Billy that he had notified the police and they would come here to pick up the dog soon. Billy was very shocked. After a while, the police arrived and they said to Billy, "Sir, you have to come with us and we're going to ask you a few questions." Billy didn't understand why they were interrogating himself. He had done nothing wrong. In the interrogation room, the police asked Billy where he got his dog and how the dog got pregnant in the first place. After listening, Billy began to recall the situation at that time. At that time, the Billy family had just lost a close partner. Their pet dog they had raised for a long time passed away. The two were very sad. Seeing his wife's sad appearance, Billy couldn't bear it, so he proposed to his wife to get another dog. The wife hesitated for a while, and finally agreed to the decision. After careful searching, the two finally found a suitable adoption home. After that, the two drove to the animal shelter. Looking at the dogs inside, Billy and his wife were ecstatic. The staff at the shelter said that they only had 5 dogs that could be adopted now. Billy and the two followed the receptionist to the dog cage. There were 3 adult dogs and 2 puppies in the cage, and one of the puppies caught their attention instantly. This puppy looks like a beagle, or one of its parents was a beagle. However, what is most fascinating is the dog's eyes, which are a pair of very stunning dark brown eyes. Neither of them had ever seen a dog with eyes of this color. The dog is very timid, smiling and keeping his distance from other dogs. Unlike another dog pup who was jumping and dancing, hoping for some extra attention, this pup was just staring at the door with high alertness, very quiet. Both Billy and his wife wanted the puppy, and the receptionist at the shelter said they needed to register the couple's information to make sure they wouldn't regret adopting the puppy later. It took Billy and his wife about an hour to complete all the paperwork to be signed and recorded. Finally, the young family returned home with their new addition. Billy and his wife were thrilled when the dog first came home. They loved their new addition, and the dog loved his new home. After a year of this, Billy and his wife wanted a puppy very badly, but their dog didn't look like they could conceive. At this time, Billy turned to an old friend of his, who told Billy that he could impregnate their dog in a short time. Billy was skeptical, but agreed anyway. To Billy's surprise, the dog actually became pregnant very quickly. Billy added that he, too, was skeptical at the time, but did a background check on the expert to make sure everything he was doing was legitimate. The officers produced several different mugshots of the criminals and they asked Billy if he could identify someone from the pictures. Billy was taken aback. In the photos, he saw a familiar face, the expert who helped his dog get pregnant. But why would he be a suspect? As far as Billy knows, he has not committed any crimes. Billy becomes more and more concerned about what this man did to his dog and whether it has anything to do with it. What worries him most is his own. Can the dog give birth normally? The police explained the situation, telling Billy that this man was no expert, that he had a history of criminal medical activity, and that he was breeding a new breed of dog. Only then did Billy know why his dog was unwilling to give birth. He knew that her baby had been tampered with by bad guys. She couldn't tell his owner, but she didn't want the bad guys to achieve his goal, so she chose to endure the pain alone. The veterinarian told the officers and Billy that he found two strange things on the ultrasound. One of them is the dog's child, the other is the medical chip in the dog's stomach, and he knew he had to call the police. When the police find the chip they've been looking for, which was illegally made by criminals, the vet not only helps Billy's dog, but also helps the police remove the chip so they can track the criminal. The dog got off its puppy smoothly, and the veterinarian couldn't believe his eyes. It turned out that this is why the police were looking for the criminal. He did this to the dog to breed a new breed of dog. Criminals microchip dogs to track their whereabouts and eventually steal the puppies from their owners for a fortune. Thanks to Billy for letting them extract the chip without damaging it. In this way, they managed to track down the culprit, who then used the culprit's device to find other victims. The veterinarian asked Billy what he wanted to do with the puppy, which was perfectly healthy, and the police said Billy could keep the puppy. The police caught the criminal, and he will pay for his actions. After what Billy and the dog have been through, he knows he has a special bond with the dog and he won't break that bond, so he adopts the pup. After that, Billy and his wife lived happily together with their dogs. The bond between humans and animals does exist, and this kind of trust that does not need to be conveyed by words. Although the above story is incredible, there has always been a wonderful emotional bond between humans and animals. Everything has spirituality, and this is the best example. I hope everyone can treat small animals kindly and convey good feelings. Well, this is the end of this video. If you like it, don't forget to like and comment. We will continue to bring you more touching stories about animals, so see you next time. Let's continue. This dog has been pregnant for a long time, and its belly has become bigger, but the dog just doesn't want to give birth. People are very puzzled, until they finally found out the reason why the dog doesn't want to give birth. All the people present were very surprised. What happened? Why don't dogs want to have babies? Dogs are the first animals domesticated by humans. Thousands of years ago, they began to help humans in daily life, guarding human homes, and helping humans obtain food. Nowadays, dogs are the most loyal friends of human beings. They accompany their owners wholeheartedly and do not ask for anything in return. They love their owners unconditionally and bring them joy. But dogs are not only friends of human beings, they are also the most loyal helpers of human beings. However, before getting a pet, you should first evaluate whether you have the ability to take care of them, because taking care of pets takes a lot of time and energy, and almost all breeds of dogs require a lot of activity. Take your pets out for walks, and keep them under regular veterinary checkups to carefully monitor your pet's health. Our story today is about a puppy who has been through a lot of unfortunate events in a relatively short period. The protagonist of the story is a pet dog named Il. For a long time in the past, Illinois has been a lively and happy dog, but recently he has become a little strange. He used to like to go out and play very much, and began to lie down at home all day until Il's belly became rounder day by day. The owner was very surprised. At first, she didn't pay much attention to it, thinking that Il just ate too much to fill up her stomach, but later, Il's behavior and her enlarged belly made her understand that she was pregnant. The owner felt very sorry for Il, who was no longer happy because of pregnancy. Whenever Il lay beside her in a daze, she would stroke the hair on Il's neck very worriedly, trying to comfort her. Seeing the spiritless Il, the owner is still very sad. It stands to reason that Il's delivery day is coming soon. Why is it unwilling to give birth? Gradually, the owner realized that something was wrong. In just a few days, Il's stomach became as big as a ball, several times bigger than before, and looked as if it would explode at any time. This lady had never seen such a thing. She immediately took her pet to a nearby veterinary clinic. The dog had to lie on back on her owner because her stomach was so distended, and she looked very uncomfortable with a pained look on her face. After arriving at the clinic, the veterinarian put the dog on the operating bed. He asked the dog to lie on its side as much as possible, then put on medical gloves and began to perform an ultrasound examination on the dog. The result of the examination found that the pet had been suffering from soreness for a long time. A fluid had collected in the space within her abdomen, which could have been caused by a tumor, a disease that can lead to very serious consequences and even the dog's death. IL's condition was so critical that veterinarians had to perform emergency surgery to drain the fluid from her peritoneal fluid, which took a long time. Fortunately, IL's operation was very successful, but the veterinarians also found that there was a small tumor in IL's body. They contacted the experts to perform the operation on the poor dog. Under the operation of the experts, the surgery was very successful, though it needs to be kept in the hospital until full recovery. A few weeks later, the owner returned home with the healthy IL, lying on the owner's lap, enjoying the long-lost warmth. After returning home, Illinois changed back to her former lively and lovely appearance. She would chase after her owner and take her to watch TV and eat snacks, and their lives returned to their original happiness. However, the owner will take IL to check her body regularly to avoid any problems with her again. A dog's affection is as delicate as that of a human being. As long as it feels your love for it, it will repay you all it has, just like the dog in the second story. This man likes small animals very much. He is a volunteer at a local stray dog shelter. The shelter has adopted many homeless fur kids. On this day, a stray bulldog walked into the shelter. The man walked over to welcome the adorable new addition, but when he got closer to the pit bull, he realized the dog was pregnant. Judging from its huge belly, it should be pregnant with many puppies, and may give birth at any time. The man said having many dogs was stressful, not only for the dogs but also for the shelter staff. Several weeks have passed, and the babies in the dog's belly are still not born, but the dog has no physical problems. Why is it unwilling to give birth? They have never seen such a thing before. According to the ultrasound, there are 12 babies in the dog's belly. They are all waiting for the right time to be born, but the delivery day has passed long ago, and any delay may lead to a tragedy. Then the man realized that maybe the dog was afraid of this strange environment, which made her very nervous. In order for these puppies to be born, they needed to find a new home for the Bulldog Mother. The man looked at the persistent dog in front of him, and finally decided to adopt the Bulldog Mother. He told his wife about the matter, and then asked his wife to come and take the dog home. The wife also likes this dog very much, and is looking forward to the little ones in its belly. The dog looked at the kind hostess in front of her, and walked over to get close to her. Hours after returning home, the dog finally began to look for a quiet place, and there was no doubt that the dog finally felt safe. Fortunately, all 12 puppies were born safely, and their family welcomed more than a dozen four-legged babies. When the little bulldogs opened their eyes, they began to run around the house. Sometimes the Bulldog Mother would take her children to the lawn to bask in the sun, and she lovingly licked her children with a happy smile on her face. But as the dogs grew older and the man's home was running out of room for them, volunteers at the shelter realized it was time to do something about it. They set out to help the couple find a new home for the little ones. Months later, each of the puppies in the story had a new home, and the brave pit bull mom stayed on with the man, and they lived happily ever after. The pups have since gone to their new homes, and those who adopted the dogs are grateful to the friendly animal-loving couple. After the puppies grow up, they will visit the man's house together. The Bulldog Mother and her puppies have gained the chance of a new life. People are amazed at its courage. In fact, animals have their own judgment and know whether humans will hurt themselves. Only when they feel your kindness can they will be your friend. The intimacy and trust between humans and animals, and even between humans, is established in this way. When we develop feelings with the animals around us, we can also get along like friends, so we should first release our kindness, and at the same time help some small animals in difficulties as much as we can, so that they can have a warm living place, and at the same time help them as much as they can. Well, this is the end of this video. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. We will continue to bring you more touching stories about animals, so see you next time.